Listen, 2026 is not going to reward the smartest person in the room. It's going to reward the person who can speak with power, lead with clarity, and influence without faking anything. The world is noisy. Everyone is talking, but only a few are being heard. And if you want to be part of that small group, the group that gets opportunities, commands respect, and grows faster than everyone else, then you need to make 3 speaking changes that will completely transform how people see you. And explode your career. Your voice is now your brand, and the sooner you understand this, the faster your entire life changes. People think branding is logos, colors, fancy websites. No. Your real brand is the energy that hits the room before your words even land. It's the tone that makes people stop scrolling. It's the confidence people feel even when you're saying something simple. Your voice is the way the world measures who you are, what you stand for, and whether you're someone they can trust. Every time you open your mouth, you're broadcasting your identity, not the identity you write in your bio, the identity you truly carry. Your voice reveals whether you are grounded or insecure, whether you're sharp or scattered, whether you're serious about your life or you're just drifting. People listen for signals, not sentences. They don't just hear what you say, they hear what you believe. They hear your certainty, your clarity, your conviction. That's why your voice is no longer just communication. It's currency. Think about it. In a world where everyone is posting, talking, recording, sharing, your advantage is not to speak more, it's to speak with intention. With precision, with weight. When your voice has weight, people lean in. They respect you more. They listen differently. They don't question your authority because your tone already answered them. That's the power most people never develop. They speak from habits, not from purpose. They talk fast to avoid silence. They talk loud to look confident. But confidence doesn't come from loudness. It comes from the depth behind your words. It comes from knowing exactly who you are and speaking from that place. Your voice is your brand because it shows your self-respect. When you speak clearly, calmly, and confidently, the world sees a person who is in control of their mind, someone who does not rush, someone who does not need validation. Someone who understands their own worth. Employers feel it, clients feel it, partners feel it, strangers feel it. You don't even have to announce your value. Your presence announces it for you. But here's the truth no one tells you. Your voice becomes your brand the moment you command it. Most people let their environment shape how they speak. Their fears speak for them, their insecurities speak for them, their past failures speak for them. You can hear the hesitation, you can hear the overthinking. You can hear the self-doubt, and if you can hear it, everyone else can too. You have to build a new voice. Not by faking confidence, but by training yourself to communicate from strength. Slow your pace so people feel your certainty. Drop your tone so people hear your conviction. Use silence like a weapon. Speak with the intention to lead, not to impress. When you master this, your voice becomes unforgettable. Not because it's loud, but because it carries truth. And truth is magnetic. Your voice is your brand because it's the extension of your mind. If your thoughts are scattered, your words will be scattered. If your thoughts are weak, your voice will sound weak. If your thoughts are powerful, your voice will shake rooms. You don't create a strong voice first. You create a strong mindset first. A voice is a reflection. It exposes everything. You can't hide behind it. You either sound aligned or you sound lost. And the world decides your value based on what they hear in the first 5 seconds. Your voice is also your brand because it's the fastest way to build trust. People trust clarity. People trust calmness. People trust consistency. When your voice is steady, your message feels reliable. When your tone carries emotional control, people feel safe with you. When your words match your actions, people follow you naturally. Trust is not built through long speeches. It's built through the feeling people get when you speak. And here's the most important part. Your voice is your brand because it creates your future. Opportunities come to the person who communicates like they already belong in the room. Promotions go to the person who can speak ideas in a way that inspires action. Leadership goes to the person who can command attention without demanding it. Your voice opens doors your qualifications cannot. Your tone takes you places your degree never will. Your communication determines your elevation. So ask yourself, what does your voice say about you right now? Does it sound like someone who knows where they're going? Does it sound like someone who respects themselves? Does it sound like someone with discipline, direction, and drive? Or does it sound like someone still waiting for permission to be great? Your voice is now your brand, and you can shape it into something the world cannot ignore. Speak with clarity, speak with purpose, speak with conviction, because the moment your voice changes, your identity changes. And when your identity changes, your entire life rises with it. Clarity beats intelligence, and the world proves this every single day. You've met people who are absolutely brilliant, overflowing with ideas, potential, and talent, yet they stay invisible, they stay unnoticed, they stay stuck, not because they lack intelligence, but because they cannot translate their intelligence into clean, direct, powerful communication. Meanwhile, someone with half their knowledge gets the promotion, closes the deal, wins the room, because that person understands how to make their ideas simple, sharp, and impossible to misunderstand. The truth is, people don't follow the smartest person, they follow the clearest person. They follow the person who can take a complex idea and make it feel obvious, organized, and actionable. Clarity is power because it reduces friction. When you speak clearly, people don't waste time decoding your message, doubting your meaning, or trying to guess what you want. Your communication becomes a straight line, no confusion, no second guessing. No hesitation, and when there's no friction, people move faster with you, they trust you more, they rely on you more, they see you as someone who knows exactly what they're doing. That's why clarity always outruns intelligence. Intelligence may impress people for a moment, but clarity leads people for a lifetime. Most people think intelligence is about using big words, complicated theories, and long explanations. They believe depth is shown through complexity. But depth is proven through simplicity. Anyone can confuse you. It takes mastery to make something simple. The world doesn't reward complexity anymore, it rewards impact, and clarity is impact. When you speak in a way that cuts through noise and lands instantly, your words carry authority. You stop sounding like you're trying to prove something, and you start sounding like someone who knows exactly what matters. Clarity doesn't mean speaking less, it means speaking with purpose. It means removing the unnecessary so the necessary hits harder. It means choosing words that actually move people. When your message is clean and tight, it reaches deeper, it sticks longer, it resonates stronger. People remember what you said, not because it was smart, but because it was understood. Most arguments, failed opportunities, broken trust, and misaligned relationships all come from one thing: unclear communication. The moment you eliminate confusion, your world upgrades. Clarity also beats intelligence because it reflects emotional discipline. When a person is lost inside their own mind, their words betray them, they ramble, they repeat themselves, they talk in circles, they over-explain, they speak from anxiety, not intention. That's why clarity reveals self-control. A clear voice comes from a clear mind. A clear mind comes from someone who has done the inner work, someone who has sorted their thoughts, sharpened their beliefs, and removed the noise. When you speak from this kind of inner calm, people can feel it. They feel the certainty, they feel the strength, they feel the leadership, and leadership is clarity. Look at anyone who leads effectively. They communicate simply, they communicate directly, they communicate consistently. They give direction in a way that removes all doubt. They know exactly what they want, why they want it, and how to get there. That's why people follow them, not because they're the smartest in the room, but because they translate vision into language that everyone can engage with. You cannot lead people you cannot communicate with. You cannot inspire people you cannot reach. You cannot influence people you cannot make understand. Clarity is also the foundation of persuasion. When your message is clear, your audience lowers their defenses because they don't feel manipulated or lost. They feel guided, they feel safe, they feel connected, and connection is the heart of influence. The more clearly you express your intentions, the more people open up to your message. Intelligence may attract attention, but clarity earns trust, and trust is what actually moves people. Your relationships upgrade when you communicate clearly. Your career accelerates when your ideas are presented clearly. Your opportunities expand when you articulate your value clearly. Your self-image rises when you speak to yourself clearly. Internally or externally, clarity builds momentum everywhere. Intelligence without clarity becomes wasted potential, but even moderate intelligence with extreme clarity becomes unstoppable. You want your life to change? Start speaking in a way that reflects precision. Start thinking in a way that eliminates confusion. Train yourself to simplify without diluting meaning. Learn to break down ideas with structure, intention, and confidence. The moment people understand you faster, they respect you faster. They trust you faster, they follow you faster, and your results come faster. Clarity beats intelligence because clarity is what the world can use. Intelligence stays in the mind, clarity moves through the world. Intelligence is potential. Clarity is execution, and in every area of success, execution wins. When you become clear in thought, in speech, in presence, you become someone people cannot ignore. Your message becomes a force. Your voice becomes direction, and your life begins moving at a pace intelligence alone could never create. Master clarity, and everything else in your life elevates with it. Presence is the new currency, and most people don't even realize they're going broke. They speak, but no one feels them. They walk into a room, but no one notices. They talk for minutes, but people forget them in seconds, not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack presence, the kind of energy that makes people pay attention without being asked, the kind of groundedness that makes your words land with weight. Presence is the modern advantage. It's the difference between someone who blends in and someone who shifts the temperature of a room just by showing up. Presence is not about being loud, dramatic, or extroverted. Real presence is quiet power. It's when you speak slowly because you're not chasing approval. It's when you hold eye contact because you're not afraid of being seen. It's when you allow silence because you're not desperate to fill it. Presence is what happens when your mind, your body, and your intention line up with each other so cleanly that people feel your authenticity before they hear your message. They don't just listen, they sense you. In a world full of noise, presence is rare. Everyone is distracted. Everyone is scattered. Everyone's attention is fragmented into 1,000 directions. That's why someone with real presence stands out instantly. It feels refreshing. It feels grounding. It feels like leadership. When you speak with presence, people naturally orient toward you, not because you demand it, but because your energy gives them something stable to follow. Presence is the new currency because it changes how people perceive your value. You can say the same sentence as someone else, but if you say it with presence, it comes out with authority. People aren't responding to the words, they are responding to the energy behind the words. People don't remember what you said, they remember how they felt listening to you, and the feeling of presence is unforgettable. It creates impact without force. The truth is, presence can't be copied. It can't be faked. You can pretend confidence for a moment, but presence exposes every crack. It reveals your inner world. If you're anxious, your presence shows it. If you're doubtful, your presence leaks it. If you're distracted, your presence disappears entirely. Presence demands alignment. It forces you to clean up your inner dialogue so your outer expression becomes stable, strong, and intentional. When your internal world is messy, your presence is weak. When your internal world is disciplined, your presence becomes magnetic. Presence is also the new currency because it builds trust at a level logical arguments cannot. You don't trust someone because they talk fast or sound smart. You trust them because their energy feels grounded. You trust them because they're consistent. You trust them because they communicate with emotional control. When someone carries presence, you feel like they're fully here with you, not half in their mind. That level of presence makes people feel respected. It makes them feel valued, and when people feel valued, they give you their loyalty in every industry. Business, leadership, communication, relationships. Presence is the competitive edge. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you present it without presence, it dies. You can have all the qualifications, but if you show up without presence, you get overlooked. You can be talented, but if you lack presence, people won't remember you. Presence is the multiplier. It takes whatever you have and amplifies it. It takes your strengths and makes them louder. It takes your weaknesses and makes them irrelevant. People follow presence long before they follow logic. Presence also dictates your ability to influence. Influence is not about pressure, it's about resonance. When your energy is steady, your message hits deeper. People open up because they feel you're not trying to dominate them. You're communicating from truth. Influence becomes natural. You don't push people, you move them. You don't chase attention, you attract it. You don't beg to be heard. You speak in a way that makes silence feel like a privilege. Presence is built through intention. It's built through self-respect. It's built through eliminating the noise in your mind so your voice carries only what matters. It comes from slowing down instead of rushing, from choosing depth over speed. From speaking with the purpose to connect rather than the desire to impress. When you show up with this type of internal power, your presence becomes your signature, it becomes your identity, it becomes the thing that opens doors before you even touch the handle. And that's why presence is the new currency. Opportunities flow to the person whose energy communicates confidence without arrogance, certainty without aggression, strength without noise. People don't follow the loudest person. They follow the most grounded person. They follow the person whose presence makes them feel more focused, more clear, more alive. When your presence grows, your world expands. People start listening differently. Rooms respond differently, opportunities appear differently, your voice gets taken seriously, your ideas get respected, your value rises, because presence is not just how you show up, it's how people experience you. Build your presence, and you don't just upgrade your communication. You upgrade your entire life. Storytelling is the new resume, and the world has already shifted toward it while most people are still trying to impress others with bullet points, degrees, and dry descriptions of what they've done. But nobody remembers a list, nobody connects with a checklist of achievements, nobody feels inspired by a paragraph filled with fancy titles and responsibilities. People connect with stories, with the emotion behind your journey, with the lessons you've lived, with the moments that shaped you. Your story is what makes you memorable. Your story is what makes you human. Your story is what separates you from the thousands of others who have the same qualifications on paper. The truth is, resumes tell people what you did. Stories tell people who you are, and in a world overflowing with talent, skill, and information, people aren't choosing the best candidate on paper. They're choosing the person who feels real, relatable, and grounded. Storytelling gives your journey a heartbeat. It turns your past into a message. It transforms your struggles into wisdom. It shows depth, not just data, and depth is what builds trust. You've probably noticed this. You meet someone with incredible experience, yet they sound forgettable because they explain their life like a textbook. Then you meet someone else with fewer qualifications, but their story hits you. Their journey inspires you. You feel connected to them instantly. That's the power of storytelling. It makes people see you as someone with substance, not just skill. People don't invest in skill alone. They invest in character. They invest in resilience. They invest in passion. They invest in the meaning behind what you do. Storytelling reveals that meaning. Storytelling is the new resume because the modern world cares less about what you've done mechanically and more about why you did it, what you learned, and how you grew. Employers want people who can adapt, communicate, lead, handle pressure, and inspire others. None of that shows up on a traditional resume. It only appears through the story of who you've become, and your story doesn't need to be dramatic to be powerful. It just needs to be true. Authenticity is more persuasive than perfection. People can feel when you're sharing something real. A strong story also creates emotional connection, and connection is the real currency now. People remember emotion long after they forget information. When you tell your story, you're not just transferring facts. You're transferring feeling. You're giving your audience a reason to care. You're showing them something about yourself that can't be captured in a job title. You're giving them a window into your mind, your values, your grit, and your perspective. That's what makes you stand out. Another reason storytelling is the new resume is because it gives your experiences direction. Anyone can say they worked somewhere or did something, but a story shows what it meant. It shows how it transformed you. It shows what you can now bring to the table with conviction. When you share the meaning behind your journey, you're showing people how your past has shaped your strength. You're proving growth without forcing it. You're demonstrating leadership without announcing it, and that level of clarity is rare. People are tired of surface-level, robotic communication. Storytelling cuts through the noise. It's the most human way to communicate. It builds credibility, because someone who can articulate their story with confidence shows they understand themselves. It builds relatability, because your challenges make others feel understood. It builds inspiration, because your evolution becomes a message, and it builds influence, because people follow someone who has lived what they speak. Your story also signals identity. It tells people whether you're someone who crumbles under pressure or someone who rises. Whether you're someone who avoids responsibility or someone who transforms adversity into strength. Whether you're someone who drifts or someone who drives forward with intention. A resume shows your history. A story shows your identity, and identity is what people trust. Storytelling is also becoming the new resume because it creates opportunity without needing permission. When you tell your story, online, in interviews, in rooms, in conversations, you are shaping how others see you. You are giving people a way to connect with your purpose. You are positioning yourself as someone with direction, not just experience. You are building your brand through your lived truth, and the more you articulate your story, the more you discover your own power. Your story is your proof. It is evidence that you've grown, endured, learned, and built yourself. It is the narrative that explains why you deserve the next opportunity, not because you want it, but because you've earned it through your journey. And once you start mastering how to share your experiences in a way that inspires others, you become unforgettable. So craft your story, not to impress people, but to connect with them, not to prove your worth, but to express it. Not to sound perfect, but to sound real. Because in this era, storytelling is more valuable than any traditional resume you can write. Your story is your advantage. Your story is your identity. Your story is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. Use it wisely, and it will take you further than any list of achievements ever could. Authentic persuasion wins, and it wins because people are tired of being sold to, manipulated, or pressured into decisions. They don't want scripts. They don't want hype. They don't want someone pretending to care just to get a result. People want truth. They want conviction. They want someone whose words match their energy and whose intentions are clean. Authentic persuasion is not about forcing someone to agree with you. It's about speaking from such a grounded place that people naturally align with what you're saying. They feel the sincerity. They feel the confidence. They feel the purpose behind every word. Most people think persuasion is about techniques. They memorize lines. They study body language tricks. They think influence comes from sounding clever or speaking louder. But all of that collapses the moment the energy behind it doesn't match the message. You can't hide intention. You can't mask insecurity. You can't pretend to believe in something you don't truly stand behind. People can sense hesitation. They can smell fakeness. They can feel when your words are unaligned. Authentic persuasion works because it eliminates the gap between what you say and who you are. When you communicate from alignment, your voice carries weight. There's no second guessing, no mixed signals, no shaky tone. You speak with clarity because you believe what you're saying. You speak with confidence because your experience backs it. You speak with integrity because there's no manipulation behind your message. And that level of congruence is extremely rare. It's what makes people trust you. It's what makes them follow you. It's what makes them take action without feeling pushed. Authentic persuasion wins because it builds trust, and trust is the foundation of all influence. You cannot persuade someone who doesn't trust you. You might pressure them for a moment, but it won't last. Their resistance will grow. Their loyalty will disappear. Their belief in you will break. But when they trust you, everything becomes easier. They listen with openness. They consider your perspective. They feel safe enough to follow your direction. Trust removes resistance, and authenticity builds trust faster than any strategy ever could. The core of authentic persuasion is emotional honesty. It's speaking with the courage to be real. It's allowing your message to come from experience, not from ego. It's sharing the truth even when it's not polished or perfect. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with honesty. They connect with someone who is human, someone who has struggled, learned, and risen, someone who speaks from lived clarity, not theoretical knowledge. Your truth is more persuasive than any tactic. Another reason authentic persuasion wins is because it creates resonance. When something is real, it hits differently. It bypasses the mind and goes straight to the heart. People feel your intention. They feel your commitment. They feel your certainty, and certainty is contagious. When you are grounded in what you believe, you give others permission to be grounded too. You become a stabilizing force. You become someone who doesn't just talk. Someone who transmits energy, and people respond to energy more than they respond to language. Authentic persuasion also respects the intelligence of your audience. You're not trying to trick them, you're not trying to outsmart them, you're giving them the truth and allowing them to choose. This creates empowerment, not pressure. When people feel empowered, they feel aligned with the decision. And when they feel aligned, they take action with commitment, not reluctance. That's how real influence works. It pulls people forward instead of pushing them. Most importantly, authentic persuasion wins because it lasts. Manipulation may work for a moment, but it destroys long-term relationships. Inauthentic persuasion might get a yes today, but it guarantees a no tomorrow. Authenticity builds relationships that grow. It builds loyalty that deepens. It builds influence that expands. People remember those who speak with integrity. They remember those who told the truth even when it wasn't convenient. They remember those who led with their heart, not with a hidden agenda. To persuade authentically, you need to own your message. You need to stand behind your experiences. You need to believe in what you're saying more than the other person fears it. You need to speak with a tone that communicates leadership without aggression, confidence without ego, authority without force. Authentic persuasion is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not rushed, it's calm, steady, and intentional. It's a message delivered from a place of alignment so strong that people can't help but trust it. When you communicate this way, you become someone others listen to, someone others respect, someone others follow. Because you're not trying to sell them, you're trying to help them, and people can feel that difference instantly. Authentic persuasion wins because it's real, and real is rare. When your message is true, when your energy is aligned, and when your intention is clean, your influence becomes undeniable. It becomes a force that moves people, not because you pushed them, but because you inspired them. Speak from truth, speak from experience, speak from alignment, because authenticity will always outperform the loudest voice, the smartest argument, and the cleverest strategy. Every single time you're speaking is not just a skill. It's your leverage, your identity, your accelerator for the opportunities coming in 2026. Because the world listens differently now. People don't want noise, they want leaders. They want clarity, they want presence. They want stories that make them feel alive again, so make these 3 changes. Speak with clarity, speak with presence, speak with stories that move, and watch how doors open. People respect you. And your career grows faster than you ever imagined. Your voice is not small, you're just one decision away from using it at its full power. 2026 is coming. Speak like someone who's ready for it.